Hey there, Louis Yacobalis here. Thanks for stopping by. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can disable or hide the Export to Excel button on a SharePoint List command bar. Now, before we get started, if you find this tutorial helpful, please hit that thumbs up below and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already to stay up to date on the latest tutorials that I publish. Now let's go ahead and let's get started. All right, now you can see that I am in a SharePoint Online list, and specifically what we're going to do in this tutorial is we are going to disable or hide rather this Export to Excel button that is featured in the command bar of this list. Now the command bar is this menu bar with the new button, editing grid, share, automate, etc. Now there's a few different ways that you could do this. You can do this with changes to the permission on the site collection, and I find that that tends to be quite complicated and there are some workarounds. So what we're going to look at is how to use JSON to actually hide this particular menu option. This is a really good approach because once you learn how to do this, you can actually hide or amend other elements of this command bar using code that Microsoft just publishes right on their website. Now, JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation, and it's essentially a lightweight format for storing and transporting data. Now, to get started, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and click on the All Items dropdown, and you want to go ahead and click Format Current View. Next, you want to go ahead and click on Advanced Mode, and this is going to bring up the place where you can come and paste in JSON syntax to amend your SharePoint List command bar. Now you'll see here that Microsoft points you to the developer documentation, so that's where you can actually go to access resources and syntax snippets like the one that we're going to be using here. Now very quickly, what I'll do is I am actually just going to pull up the developer documentation where you can see the different attributes of the command bar that you can actually customize. Now we're going to be leveraging this commandBarProps property that is going to be included in our syntax. But if I scroll down quickly, what you're seeing here is a list of keys, and each of these things is essentially a property in the command bar that we can modify in one way or another. Now, what's really awesome about this developer documentation is it gives a really simple explanation. And if you scroll to the bottom, Microsoft is even going to give you these code snippets so that you can use this and then just modify the different properties that you want to amend to suit your specific requirement. Now, I've put the link to this article in the description below, and I'm also going to be including the specific syntax that I'm using in this tutorial, and I've put that in the description below so you can just go ahead and grab it. Now I'm going to flip back to our SharePoint list, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and delete everything that is in this input box, and I'm going to go ahead and paste my code here. Now you can see here that this syntax is referencing that commandBarProps property that we just looked at in the developer documentation. In order to modify the different elements of that command bar, what you want to do is you want to just reference the key from that website we just saw. And I'll just quickly scroll back up here. So these are the different keys. So if you wanted to, for example, hide the edit element of the command bar or the new button, you want to reference that key in this specific value here. So you can see it says key and then the specific option that you're looking to include. Now I've gone ahead and I've pre-built my syntax, and you can see here that I've included the value export. Now this value corresponds to this specific button, and you can see here that it says hide true. Now by default, whenever something's displayed, this hide value is actually set to false. So when we set it here to true in the syntax, that means that it's going to go ahead and hide that specific element. Now that I've pasted this code in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click preview, and I'd like you to just focus on the command bar when I go ahead and press this button. So I'm going to go ahead and press it, and you can see here that that export button disappeared. Now what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and change this true to false, And this is just for demonstration purposes. Now, before I press the preview button, again, just focus up here on the command bar. So I'm gonna go ahead and press preview. And you can see here that I can easily bring back that export button just by changing that hide property to false. Now, if you did want to bring this back permanently, you don't have to use this JSON syntax. You can just wipe this out and save it, and that's just going to return the command bar to its default with that export button displayed there. Now, very quickly, what I will show you is that, again, you can use the same syntax to modify other elements of this command bar. And to do that, you just want to reference this developer documentation, and specifically, you just want to reference the keys here, and each of these sort of corresponds to a different element on the command bar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate how to hide the new item button, and the key value for the new item button is new. So I will just go ahead and bring back my list, and I will replace the word export with new, and I will also need to set the hide value to true. Now, before I go ahead and press preview, again, just focus on this new button here in the command bar, and I'll go ahead and press this, and you can see here that that new button disappeared. Now, if I go ahead and change this to false again, and I click preview, you can see that that new button returned to the command bar. And very quickly, just again, for demonstration purposes, what I will do is I'll just pick another one of these options here. So let's go with integrate. So I'm going to go ahead and hide this integrate button. And again, you just want to pipe in that value in the key field. And I'm going to change the hide value to true. And I'm going to go ahead and press preview. And when I do that, just focus up here on the command bar. And you can see here that I was able to hide that integrate button. And so you can use this JSON syntax to modify the command bar to either hide, reorder, and even change the appearance of elements featured on that command bar. So that's it. This was just a quick tutorial specifically showing you how to hide the export to Excel button in a SharePoint Online list command bar using JSON. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you did, please hit that thumbs up below. And be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on the latest tutorials that I publish. I'm Louis Jacobellis. Thanks for stopping by. Talk soon.